Good afternoon, everyone. I think we have we've got about 14, 15 people joining us now. We'll give it another minute or so, let people join, and then we'll make a start. Thank you. Okay, I think we'll make a start. So, welcome to the Sharjah Research Technology and Innovation Park webinar on the opportunities for UK organisations in the UAE. My name is Ian Edgar. I am the head of learning and partnerships here at the park. I'm from the UK, and I spent about nearly 17 years in the UAE, mainly in Dubai and also in Sharjah. So it's great to be here. Spend a little bit of time talking to you about what a wonderful place this is to do business. I'm joined with two of my colleagues for the webinar. So I'll let them introduce themselves now. Maybe we start off with Motaz.
Absolutely. My name is Motaz bin Saud. I run the business development at SRTIP Park. I've been in UAE for about a good 12 years. So it'll be a pleasure to really introduce our park to you, and we'll take it from there. And Sandrine?
Yes, hello everybody. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. So I'm Sandrine Bouygues-Petit, and I'm in charge of all the marketing and the communication for the park here in Sharjah. So welcome, and I hope you all enjoy this webinar. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, Sandrine and Motaz. So we're speaking to you from Sharjah. For those of you that aren't familiar with the geography of this area, it's one of the 7 emirates in the UAE. And over the next hour, we're going to be talking to you about Sharjah and about the park here that we all represent. We're going to start off with a quick introduction to the UAE and just a few facts about the country, the economy, and its vision. And in particular, the relationship between the UAE and the UK. Then we're going to talk about the market access opportunities here at the park, and Motaz will take you through that. We'll spend a little bit of time talking about some of our activities here at the park, like our accelerator programs and some of the events that we're doing here. And Sandrine will be introducing those to you. We'll finish off with about 10, 15 minutes to answer any questions that you might have. The chat box is the way we're going to do this. So if you do have any questions, then please just write them down into the chat box, and then I'll try and get around to answer them if we've got time. Now, if we haven't, then you can still put them in the chat box, and we will we'll contact you in due course to answer your questions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just share my screen now and pull up a presentation. I hope everyone can see that. Great. Okay, so just to start off by explaining a little bit about the UK-UAE relationship. Okay. There's a long tradition of trade and friendship between the two countries. since its inception, since the start of the UAE in 1971. There's been a lot of trade, and the UK and the UAE have been trusted partners for all that time. The UAE is an important trading partner of the UK. Trade, this is an example, the trade between the UK and the UAE was 13.1 billion in the 4 quarters to the end of Q4 2021. And that was an increase of 3.8% on the year before, even during the COVID times. So there's a lot of trade between the two countries. And in fact, this makes the UAE the UK's largest trading partner here in the Middle East. There's been strong bilateral relationships throughout that whole time. And indeed, we have over 5,000 UK businesses that operate in the Emirates. Now, that was the last count. I think there's probably a lot more businesses here in the UAE that have got UK citizens who operate them. These 5,000 are companies that have got a footprint in both countries. So there are many UK nationals that only operate out of the UAE. So I think that figure is a lot more than is actually there. Now, there are 120,000 UK residents who live here in the UAE. That's quite a large number. It's the largest contingent from Europe. Myself being one of them. Been here for quite some time. So it means it's a very familiar place. You get a lot of support here in the region if you're from the UK. We've had a lot of support and ties between the two organisations for quite some time, but those ties have got stronger quite recently. Last year in September, both nations agreed to establish a partnership for the future together. This expanded all of the bilateral relationships and ties that had existed so far. The aim of this partnership was to strengthen collaboration between the two countries, to create sustainable prosperity, and to work together to establish some of the global issues in the region and across the world. Particular areas that this partnership was focused on was those around technology, infrastructure, healthcare, and clean and renewable energy. Now, these are of particular importance to us here at the park. We have got a very strong focus in and around these areas. And Motaz will be explaining a little bit more about that later on as we go through the presentation. It's thought that these sectors will help both countries to support job creation in the UAE and in the UK, to strengthen national research and development capabilities in both countries, and finally, to identify areas for investment collaboration. So a lot going on between the two countries around trade and around economy. I've got a few examples for you here. Now, there are many more, so I've just picked a few that I thought may be of interest to people who are joining us. And they're quite topical as well. So, for example, we have a lot of investment from the UAE into the UK. A company called Masdar, which is a huge corporation here in the UAE, based out of Abu Dhabi, has invested in a whole series of wind farms that can provide power to millions of British homes and reduce CO2 emissions. This is particularly important for the UAE. They've pledged to invest over 163 billion in renewable energy over the next 30 years. And it's committed to decarbonise its economy completely and reach net zero by 2050. So there's a lot going on around sustainable energy and renewable energy solutions here in the region. And in fact, something that may interest people who are joining us, the COP28, so the Conference of Parties, the UN conference that looks at climate change and sustainable development, is actually happening and taking place here in the UAE in 2023. So we're all getting quite excited about that and doing a lot of activities in that area. Another example, I picked education here. So the UAE is, at the last count, 58 British schools following a British curriculum. here in the UAE, and a growing number of UK universities that are set up here and have branch campuses here. So big universities such as the University of Birmingham, Heriot Watt, Middlesex University, Bolton University. There are many more, too many to mention. But the education sector is a really strong area for collaboration between the two countries. There's a strong focus around partnership in industry as well. So a memorandum of cooperation was signed in September last year that looks at cooperating around advanced industries and advanced technologies. There's a lot of development and a lot of investment in the UAE in those particular technologies. Our 9 priority areas that we're going to focus on together around life sciences, around hydrogen, which is an interesting technology here. And we even have a few British companies from parts of the UK that are working here in the UAE and in the park on looking at solutions for that. Space, smart and green, sustainable manufacturing, all of these are our priority areas. In the UAE, there's a big focus on looking at advanced industry and seeing how we can develop our own indigenous industry in the country, where we're making and producing things here in the UAE. And with that in mind, there's a project that's being run called Project 300 Billion, which looks at developing the industry and infrastructure here so that a large proportion of the GDP of the country comes from advanced industry. So those are just a few examples of what's going on in the region. Quite a lot more, but I don't want to spend too much time on this. I want to tell you a little bit about the outlook for the future, just in overview. The UAE economy is doing quite well. It's managed to weather the storm that was COVID. Its vaccination rates and the systems it put in place to deal with the pandemic were very effective. And the economy here is forecast to grow about 4.2%, and that was confirmed by the IMF quite recently. It's definitely the startup hub in the region. It's established itself very highly in world rankings. On the Global Entrepreneurship Index for 2020, it was ranked 4th globally. It's also ranked very highly in ease of doing business. So a strong focus on startups here. And in fact, the government is committed to develop its innovation ecosystem here to host 20 unicorn startups by 2031. So quite an ambitious target, but I think it's definitely on track to achieve that. It's looking at government support, low startup costs for entrepreneurs, minimizing bureaucracy, the strategic location of the country. There's a pool of investors that are attracted to this part of the world. And finally, I think there's an entrepreneurship culture here in the UAE that is attracting a lot of attention. Finally, what I wanted to point out before I passed on to my colleague Motaz is that the UAE has a very diversified economy. It's moved away from its oil-based economy of the past as embracing a whole range of different industries. It's got a liberal trade regime. And from my perspective, as someone who's from the UK, there's 10 million people from over 200 nationalities here that call this place home. I'm one of them. And I really believe it's a fantastic place to think about moving a business to or starting up a business here. So it's great to see you all here on the call. And I'm going to now pass on to Motaz. And he's going to tell you a little bit more about what all that means in the context of Sharjah Research Technology and Innovation Park. So I'll stop sharing now and just hand over to Motaz.
Thank you, Ian. Okay, let me share my screen. Right. Please let me know if you're able to see it. Okay, are you able to see the screen? Excellent. Okay, once again, welcome everyone. We have just a presentation here about the park itself, just so you can visualize and see what it is that we'd like to introduce to you, which again, I mean, we see the Science Park as a gateway into the UAE, it being one of the three science parks. Okay, so it's not only a free zone, but rather a science park. That brings innovations, technology into Sharjah and UAE overall. So to start with, I mean, how did the park start? It started with His Highness, okay, the ruler of Sharjah. He wanted to capitalize on the universities that we have next door. So he established this science park here to help innovations come out of the universities, as well as promote the ones that are coming internationally, you know, whether they're scale-ups or startups to come up in the region. So His Highness is very involved with us. He gets to visit the parks, not parks, but I mean, he gets to visit the park or different projects that we're doing at the park. He's also the chairman of the park, so we get to see him when he comes to visit at our board meetings. So as you see, he's very involved, and this really helps us with promoting our projects, our partners in the region. This is the park, basically, just to share with you some exterior pictures. It's a beautiful park. We started this park about a year and a half ago. It's growing tremendously fast, really well recognized, you know, in the region. And again, it's beautifully looking. I mean, we work here, and every day we say, "Wow, that's a beautiful building." So this is just some pictures of the inside. Again, the idea was for us to create an ecosystem, so we have the right setup, whether it's auditoriums, different classroom session style, and we'll talk more about this, and the right environment really to promote the companies. We're able to run business councils. In fact, we have one next week in these areas. Okay, in fact, it's actually going to be in this area where the tree is. So again, I think what we created is the right environment, you know, to promote the ecosystem. This year, we get to see a picture of Ian also here. Okay, this is our soy lab. Okay, it's the Sharjah Open Innovation Lab. And this is something that Ian is also in charge of. So it's a makerspace. In fact, it's one of the largest in the region, where we have different sections pertaining to different industries. For example, here, it's not the latest pictures, but we have a section for electronics. It's actually sponsored by Intel. It's not showing in this picture, but I think you can see it here on a newer picture. We also have a laser cutting section. We have a 3D printing section, metal printing section. We have another, it's not here in the pictures, but the textile section. We have wood carpentry section with very modern equipment. So again, we have 3 floors of this. And in the bottom floor, we have more of the commercial floors, commercial equipment. These are just some samples that we have. If you look at this one here, it's an M2 machine with 2 laser heads. It's a GE machine, GE M2 machine. It has 2 laser heads, you know, so it can print metals either twice as fast or 2 different things at the same time. You know, very, very advanced machines. We have polymer machines here from Farsoon. We have the MENA's largest furnace. We have this, let's say, a device that will remove the structures that will hold the prints, whatever is being printed. So again, who uses these? It's a combination. It's startups, it's scale-ups, it's MNCs. You know, we have large companies that come here to manufacture certain projects. Upstairs to this, immediately upstairs to this, we have our engineers. They're at the location, you know, to assist companies to design certain things or assist them to print and so on. And of course, we have students, you know, that come from the universities over, whether they're learning or they want to create their own equipment. Now, these are our areas of focus. Okay, so we're focused on transport and logistics, product design and architecture, water technologies, digitization solutions, energy technology as an environmentally related companies. Just to show you some examples, here's an example of a transport company that is localized here with us. So this company here, they have pods. These pods transport individuals as well as transport cargo. So the idea is they came here, they're setting up. We already did the whole PR campaign. We invited the RTA, which is the Road and Transport Authority. We invited the Ministry of Energy Infrastructure, as well as other organizations. They saw the technology. They've seen it tested. Once we finish the final testing, which is the newest track that is being built, it's a 3-kilometer track on our premises. If it's successful, the idea is that we spread it across UAE. So again, what do we help? We help with promoting the companies to different organizations, different entities, really to scale up our partners. So we work very close. The way we describe ourselves is when you join us, you're essentially joining a family. You're not joining a company or a free zone where you just get a number put on the screen. Here's another example. This is a 3D printed home. So a company came set up here. We're actually promoting this. And now the idea is that they're going to print security sheds. Okay, the security sheds that we're going to distribute around in the different organizational compounds or buildings. So again, the idea again is to promote our technologies. These are an example of water technology where we have a mixed-use compound and where the building is a water and waste management facility with an R&D center. They're actually breaking grounds, so they should be starting very soon with the construction. Yeah, in fact, this picture doesn't show it, but the mixed-use communities is literally right next door. And in terms of digitized solutions or digitization solutions, we have an AR/VR company. This is an example. Of course, we have several companies here, but this is a company where we even invested in this company and we helped promote it in the region. Now they're working with Emirates, or they're going to start working with Emirates Airlines. They're working with the largest aluminum manufacturer in the world, actually, situated here. They're doing training, VR training for them. Really fascinating. I mean, even the graphics that they use is really, really high-scale graphics. Here's another example. Again, not the best example here, but solar panels. It's being tested, and the idea is that we help promote, the technology in the region. This is a Spanish company that's working with us here. And then we have an example here for a hydroponic company that's established with us. We have another aeroponic company coming. So this company here, they're building almost 20 of these pods on our land, really, again, to promote it, especially that Sharjah is focused on organic vegetables. So it was really the right opportunity for them, to come and establish at the park. So we mentioned that we collaborate tremendously with the universities. Just to show you very, very quick examples of how we collaborate with the universities. This one here is specifically AUS, so American University of Sharjah. One of the projects is conductive concrete. Okay, so this is concrete with electrical fields to it, where it prevents, let's say, others from penetrating, let's say, the building and stealing, let's say, information. Okay, so it helps prevent that. We're also working on femtolaser, very powerful lasers, for 3D printing, especially for 3D printing, hydrogen production, high voltage insulators, and super hydrophobic surfaces that not only reject water, but actually expel water. So these are examples. So what we do is we try to start as well as commercialize these IPs from the universities next door. We do tremendous number of events at our park. So between last year, from beginning of last year till now, we've done over 200 events, okay, ranging from delegation visits, international, local ministries, federal level ministries visiting us, high officials visiting us, different organizations covering different topics. Some events we run them, and then we have others that are done by third-party individuals. Here's more examples. For example, this one here was the National Climate Dialogue. So the Minister of Climate Change attended and presented here. So again, we invite the right companies to attend in the idea that we promote them and expose them not only in UAE, but also internationally. And this is how we collaborate, with our partners. To give you just a perspective of where we are, okay? So this is the park. So we have 20 million square feet of land, okay, which is about, 2 million square meters. Okay, we built stage 1, which is this one here. So the building itself is about 2 years old, but we had the land for about almost 5 years. Okay, so we built this first phase, and then we're going to expand to second phase, and then the third phase. Where are we located? We are located right here, next to University City. So this is where we have 22 universities, and we'll show you pictures right in the next slide. 22 universities, almost 46,000 students right next to us, and about 2,000 PhD students. Why are we mentioning this? Because, again, the most successful free zones in the world are the ones that are located next to universities, because they capitalize on it whether they want individuals, or talents from the universities to operate at their companies, or they capitalize by bringing students that want to start their own companies. So we collaborate tremendously with University City. In fact, American University of Sharjah is our sister company. If you can see my screen here, just to give you a perspective, because everybody's known or knows Dubai, so for the tourism and the activities, it's a really impressive city. I personally live also in Dubai, but I work in Sharjah. So here, Sharjah and Dubai are stuck to each other. So you don't know if you're on this side or that side, really. I mean, they're stuck to each other. We are located, I don't know if you can see this, if this is covering, or I can only see it on my side, but we are located here, okay? And this is University City. This is the airport, the Sharjah International Airport. So it's about 15 minutes from Dubai Airport, and about 25 minutes to downtown Dubai. Of course, except for a high peak traffic time, which is understandable. Okay, but this is just to give you a perspective. And this is the University City that's next door. Again, it's really, really beautiful. I know, especially in UK, you're used to all this greenery, but we don't have this everywhere, of course. But in the University City, I mean, it's just absolutely magnificent. So these are just examples of the university. This is the entrance. You have the American University of Sharjah. You have Sharjah University here, which is one of the largest, if not the largest, I believe, in the region. And of course, you have different compounds, that are built, for this sake, or to host the students or the teachers. Here, just one slide about the different partners that we operate with. These are the MNCs that we operate with. So you have Microsoft, Google, Siemens, and so on. So we collaborate with these, whether they're setting up at our park, doing R&D centers, sponsoring events, or even doing sessions, sessions that are attended by different companies for them to explain certain technologies or whatever trends there are right now. This slide here, just, we wanted to show why UAE, why Sharjah, why SRTIP. So why UAE? I think this is very, very easy. I mean, I think most of us here, we hear about UAE and how it promotes. Ian gave tremendous, great examples, of collaborations between countries like the UK and here. UAE is very transparent and forward-looking. It is an innovative-led business ecosystem, 100%. It's an exceptional, or it has exceptional worldwide diplomatic ties, tax-free environment, and it's centrally located, connecting Asia, Africa, Europe. It's a bit far from, let's say, America, but that's the idea. And why Sharjah? So if you want to think of the overall picture, you'll see that Abu Dhabi is the oil and government emirate. Dubai is really the tourism and essentially business emirate. Sharjah is research and technology, as well as research and technology, as well as education. So a lot of the companies, start here and then they get promoted out of this region. It is the third largest industrial emirate. It has the biggest healthcare university. It's located next to us. The emirate itself is centrally located, connecting the north and the southern emirates. It's cheaper, a lot cheaper, and this helps especially with the startups, sometimes the scale-ups, to start in the region. It hosts 20% of the population, and really it has all kinds of facilities and amenities around it. Again, the park, we don't need to go through it, but it's a government science park, and this gives us the edge and really to help with the exposure and promoting our partners. It's strategically located, very, very easy access from the highways. Also, again, being next to the airports and different facilities. So then we have different other activities that we do. One thing, to mention is that we do everything in-house. So a company, we have a lot of companies coming here, they want to set up, but they're not sure of the process, or how do I do this, or how do I do that? We do everything in-house, whether it's licensing, registration. The only thing we do outside is the banking. So, again, this is just provides facilitations to our partners. Really, this is all I have for you. I think this way you got a very nice overall perspective about the collaboration between UAE and UK, thanks to Ian. Myself, I took you through the park, and really how we see Sharjah Research, Technology and Innovation Park being the gateway of technology and innovations into the region. I think, even if you see the numbers, whether you're following Magnet or any of those, you see that UAE is really leading in terms of hosting startups and innovations. Then I'll hand it over actually to Sandrine, which will give an example of an accelerator that we're running. This is also, it gives facilitation for companies that are willing to scale up or move into the region. So let me stop sharing and I'll let Sandrine take over.
Thank you, Motaz.
Absolutely. You're welcome, Sandrine.
Can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
Great. So I think, as Motaz just explained, UAE is really one of the for the moment, really interesting place to start your business, or if you want to expand your business. There's a lot of different way to do it here with us or across the region, across the country. But here we have just launched I will just do a quick introduction to our third edition of our accelerator. So it's the Sharjah Advanced Industry Accelerator. So we have launched that already this is the third edition, as I mentioned. I don't know why I can change my slide right now. Okay.
Try to click on it once, maybe directly on the presentation, then hit.
Okay, sorry for that. Let me just reshare because we've tested that before and it was working very well. So up. Let's do it again. Can you see my screen right now? Or not yet?
Yes.
Yes?
Okay.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So let's try this.
Can you try presentation?
Right, great. Sorry for that. So
No
it's a
worries.
full screen now, Matthias?
Yes.
So as said, really, SAIA, what we call Sharjah Advanced Industry Accelerator, has really been since 3 years totally designed to assist local, regional, and of course, international entrepreneurs, as well as global startups, to unleash these startups to access all this advanced industry landscape across the region and of course globally, to not only pilot but also scale their solution globally. SAIA is totally aligned. I think this is really important to mention with UAE Advanced Industry Strategy, and I think yes, it's finally a way to establish here, let's say, the whole global hub for future industries, and SAIA has designed this program, which is dedicated to introduce technology that build economies and sustainable businesses, help mentorship and corporate matchmaking, linking, of course, investors to academia, and also we are organizing lots of business angel network as one for tomorrow, or in September we also host the Sharjah Innovate in Sharjah, which is a global investment business angel network. And of course, as you've showed in your presentation, Motaz, we can here also deploy demos and pilot. The program has been launched already since 23rd of May. We'll close all the application by 16th of August. The program itself will start from the 5th of September up to the 6th September, where we will have all the accelerator program, and also in the 6th of December, the demo day. This accelerator has focused on the 6 focus area of the park that Motaz has presented just before. So to name: production design, technology and architecture, water technologies, all is about energy technologies, transport and logistics, digitization solution, not only all what is AR, VR, but also crypto money, NFT, metaverse, etc., Internet of Things, and finally, environmental and sustainable economy. We have, of course, criteria to be eligible for this program. Each startup or company needs to have an MVP, or, of course, solution tested in the market, be in Series A stage or beyond, proven revenue record, of course, obviously be innovative in nature and has to, be part of these focus areas, and of course, bringing added value to the 4.0 industry and have potential for scalability and vision to grow internationally. Our target is to have this year more than 500 applications. We have opened the application since 2 weeks, and at today we have already nearly 150 applications from all around the world. So this is really positive for us, and of course, it's open to all international SMEs and local and regional too. We have 2 categories, but I will here highlight the standard one. We have, of course, this standard where you can enter the accelerator program. You will have access to all government entities, corporates, and academia. You have connection to key decision makers within government stakeholders, network and business that allow businesses to thrive, access, of course, to all this SRTIP ecosystem, partners, network, events, and marketing exposure, and also be able to be part of the biggest exhibition, such as the annual MIT Summit, which is the MENA Innovation Technology Transfer Summit, which will be held here in October. You can have access to technology by providing, we provide to the partners to innovative markets. You can also leverage to MENA's largest additive manufacturing and fast prototyping hub. And of course, be part of a university city with 22 universities around and access to more than 45,000 students and more than 2,000 PhDs. So I think this is like give you accessibility to large talent pool. And one of the main point of this category is that you have the opportunity to win $50,000 during this in this category. We have another category that you can discover from our website, which is srtip.ae/accelerator, which is mainly more adapted for mature companies who have really dedicated and tailor-made benefits. So we are very proud that this year, this accelerator is sponsored by Google, and we have more and more surprises to come all along the way. We are launching and promoting this accelerator. So if you need any additional information, doesn't hesitate to contact us on our website or by mail at saya@srtip.ae, and we'll be really happy to give you more information. So this is an accelerator. I will give the floor back to Jan to conclude this session. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. And one thing to mention, sorry, it's actually a comment. Sorry, I cut you off. I'm sorry to cut you off, actually, Ian. You know, I see here a comment, you know, about the Morocco map. We apologize about this. I think we all didn't notice it. We fully support Morocco, and we completely disagree with the border that is being put there on the map. Unfortunately, online sometimes you find it that way. I personally myself lived in Morocco for some time, and I absolutely love the people and the country itself. So we apologize about that, and we'll ensure that it's not visible. You know, I think it's a simple, it's an oversight rather than anything. But we fully support, and we're actually happy that things are improving in that region anyway. Okay, so sorry, Ian, back to you if you want to raise the question.
No problem. Thanks very much, Mortaz and Sandrine, for telling us a little bit more about the park. I'm just catching up on some of the questions here, and I think what we can do is spend a few minutes just trying to answer any questions that people have raised. So I've got one here that I think is for Mortaz. So it's from Andrew Wakelin. He's representing a UK manufacturer of medical devices. They're looking to set up a subsidiary in the UAE to supply the MENA region, and they're looking for advice and guidance on this. So Mortaz, what would you advise for Andrew and his organization?
Absolutely. I mean, we're looking at companies from the focus areas that we mentioned. This is one of them, certainly. So what we think is, I mean, really the first step is for us to really discuss what it is that you're trying to do and how SRTIP could help promote it, let's say, in the region. So really as a next step is you know, maybe I could put my email directly here. If you send us, just send me a quick email. We'll set up a call. We'll discuss what is it that you're trying to do, who are you trying to reach, And then essentially what we do is build together a business case, okay? We say, you know, you come set up here at the park, we'll help connect you with this, and that company. In fact, we're working with a company here that's participating. I just don't want to call it out, you know, to do the same thing, you know, where we're connecting them to different entities, you know, to help promote their technologies. I think you need to enter the region, and what you really need is the exposure, I think, and this is why I keep stressing exposure, because I see sometimes companies come here and they get buried, you know, they become a number on the screen. They are not being in the right environment really to promote their technologies. We had this very, very interesting company come here from Eastern Europe that works with or sets up equipment for blind people, you know, where it helps blind people with taps on their forehead and gives them guidance based on this technology, basically cameras that map their surrounding. So again, this was a very, very neat opportunity, and we really encouraged it. Sometimes we also select companies, we invest in them. You know, sometimes we take equity in the company or in the product rather than the company to help, you know, even help grow the company further. So I think the first step for you is if you can, let's say, contact me directly. We can set up a call. If you're really interested to, let's say, scale up to this area, I'll be more than happy, let's say, to connect you with my team and or myself, and then we'll take it from there.
Thanks very much, Motaz.
You're welcome.
We have another one here. I think this is probably for Sandrine. This is from Madhu Subramani. Could you, sorry, there's quite a few dropping in here. Could you please confirm if biotech or biopharma startups can participate in the accelerator program?
Definitely, Madhu, definitely. All what is about health tech and science, all this area is also definitely part of accelerator, which is also defined in the advanced industry policy. So yeah, pleasure. Please go on the website and send your application. We'll be more than happy to receive it here.
Thank you, Sandrine. A couple more questions here. We've got one from Dr. Jamal asking about study in dentistry. So we don't actually do any accredited courses here, university accredited courses here at the park. However, we have strong connections with our universities who are all within a very short distance of here. So the University of Sharjah has a world-class medical facility. The American University of Sharjah, particularly strong in engineering, architecture, art and design. So there is a huge range of educational opportunities here that I would advise you take a look online and find out about them. Thank you very much, Dr. Jamil. We have one more, I think we've got time for. So from Salman Hussein, does SRTIP have any support for EV conversion companies? So retrofitting petrol to electric. They're looking for a strategic setup. Motaz, I think this sounds like yours.
Yes. So really, I mean, again, the overall focus, as you see, it's technology related. So if you are retrofitting, let's say, cars from normal, combustion engines into EV, if I'm understanding your question correctly, then, this is the technology, okay? So we're working with a company that deals with lithium. We have also a company that's supposed to be coming in the future to set up with us, where they're working also with solar panels, cars that have solar panels to help, let's say, regenerate the power. I think what you mentioned here is a very, very interesting concept. and I hear a lot about it. Okay, there's many cars, especially the classic cars, they're being converted to EVs. To reintroduce them to the market. I would love to do that, for one of my cars that I had back in college, and get it back up and running. And so would we accept a company like this? Certainly, absolutely. I mean, this falls into our perspective, and again, we're trying to keep the companies or have the right type of companies establish themselves here. I think this is something certainly that we could look at together. I mean, we have, again, I mean, the land here, we have 20 million square feet. So we could set something up, where you could really exercise, let's say, what you do, which I think is very interesting, and I think really is something that's becoming very popular, not only in this region but worldwide. So again, please reach out to me. I put the email here, and we can discuss it more in details.
Thank you, Moses. I think we've got time for one more, and we've got one from Omar. So he's asking, can a startup developing remotely operated vehicles, robots, AI powered for applications in marine and port constructions, participate in the accelerator program? I think is what Omar is asking. So Sandrine, maybe you could have a go.
Definitely, it's really goes totally in the area of transport logistic. I think that can be definitely something that can be a part of the accelerator. Or also, Omar, if you just want to. It depends at which stage of the development of your company you are, but it can be all part of the accelerator, or you can just, if it's already working in your country, it can also, you can come here and we help you to expand your business here through our Motaz team, expand your business in UAE and the region. So depending on where you are on the development of your company, you can or apply for the accelerator, or also see the opportunity to set your business here, and how we can help you expand it here in UAE and the region. So you have two choice, depending on, of course, the where you are in your business. I hope you have answered your question, Omar.
Thank you very much, Sandrine. So I noticed a couple of questions about the presentation. So we will definitely be sending out the presentation to everybody who's attended. If you've got any questions or any thoughts, or want to get in touch with Eoin, Motaz has already provided his email, and we will be connecting with you after this event. What I would encourage everybody to do is just follow Sharjah Research Technology and Innovation Park online through LinkedIn or Instagram. We have a good social media presence, so please follow us there, and you can find out much more about all of our events and the opportunities that there are at the park. I think what might be a nice idea, just to finish off now, is if I hand it over to my colleagues for maybe 1 minute each, just to maybe cover why you think setting up at the park would be a great opportunity for companies from the UK.
Absolutely. Maybe I could start, really quick. Maybe I'll start with a comment. I mean, I appreciate the comments here. I see Zahra here saying that we should do this webinar on a monthly basis. I know that also we have some companies that we dealt with or even participated with us. So it's very encouraging to see this family ecosystem that we built here. And again, I mean, I think we're lucky with what we have. We're poised really to bring innovations. We're seeing tremendous energies here, and I'm quoting someone. our CEO, who's a very dynamic, energetic, and really helpful individual. When he said, it's amazing where we see companies or let's say you're used to working with individuals that you tell them hit the brakes, and then you deal with startup companies and scale up companies. No, actually, I said it the opposite. Sorry, I quoted completely wrong. You see individuals where you tell them, please hit the accelerator, go faster, do things more, but startups, scale-ups, and these really individuals that are really pushing to grow their companies and or start something innovative, sometimes you want to tell them, hit your brakes, slow down, let's do it one step at a time. And really, this is the guidance that we want to give is, yes, you have the idea, but let's work together really to set it up correctly here and hopefully through the park, we'll become partners.
Definitely. And if I can add something to that, Motaz, we have really the specificity to be a science park where we have this triple helix, a partnership with the academia, with all this university, with the government and all the private sector. So this is really a great opportunity for everyone who wants to start a business here to have all these ecosystem that can help, grow fast and have, the right doors to be open. So yeah, I think this is really also important. And the state of the art of the labs and yeah, I think this is really help when you are launching any business in new technologies.
Sandrine, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I think just to close, from me, it's been absolutely a pleasure talking to everyone here from the UK and I think from other places in the world. We'll definitely look at running these again and keep you informed. So as I said, please follow us on our LinkedIn page or our Instagram, and we'll let you know when the next one is. And thank you all very much, and I hope you have a great day.
And maybe, Jan, if you allow me, tomorrow, for those who are based in UAE, we are hosting a Business Angel Network. So from 7:30 to 9, so maybe not for those who are in UK, but for those who are around, do not hesitate to join. It will be very interesting. We have great speakers tomorrow to talk about more the legal aspects of investment, etc., while talking about business angels. So feel free to come. And yes, keep following us on our social media. There's a lot of events happening. So thanks a lot for today. Jan, you to conclude.
Thanks very much, Sandrine. I think I'll close now. And as I said, great to meet you all online. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day.
Thank you.